Hey there, Raelan here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the vagus nerve. Is this a real thing? Is it just something that somebody made up? Until recently, I actually wasn't quite sure. When I'd hear about the vagus nerve, and I've been hearing about it a lot lately, I think of it sort of like things like the third eye. Like, it sounds kind of real, but kind of not. I just really wasn't sure if there's anything actually to it. And if it is real, what exactly is it, and why should we care about it? So in this video, I'm going to cover 5 things. I'm going to take a look at if your average person has heard of the vagus nerve and knows what it is. And by average person, I'm just referring to a few of my friends. Sorry, friends, for calling you average. You are anything but average. You are exceptional. And then I'm going to look at whether or not the vagus nerve actually is a real thing. And if it is real, what exactly is it? Then I'm going to look at some reasons, if there are any, for why we should care about it. And then I'll finish off by looking at if and how we can use the vagus nerve to help us improve and benefit our overall health and happiness. And we're going to do this right now. So let's start by hearing from a few of my anything but average friends.
Okay, question number 1. Have you ever heard of the vagus nerve? I have vaguely heard about it. But I have no idea what it is.
I have an idea, but not 100% sure.
I think so.
Absolutely not.
Probably not.
I think so.
Okay, question number 2. Does this sound like a real thing to you? It doesn't sound like a real thing to me, but I'm pretty sure it's a real thing.
I'm gonna go with something someone made up. I read about it, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's a nerve that runs from your brain to your stomach, to your gut.
Probably real.
It could be real. I mean, yeah.
What do you think it is for? I was not allowed to Google this, by the way, so I have no idea what it's for. It must have something to do with regulating a thing, maybe between the brain and the body or something like that. It's not clear what it's for.
It's a nerve that floats from your brain to your digestive system. I don't know how that really works out, but whatever, I'm gonna trust science, I guess.
I think it helps your brain and your stomach talk to each other.
It is the nerve that runs along the backside of your back down to your Achilles heel. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, I hear very serious things about it. Originally, I would have guessed something related to going to Vegas and getting nervous at the poker table. But these days, it seems like it's maybe something to do with something more serious.
I think it's a nerve that connects all your organs together and has them talk to each other. So one part of your body knows what the other part of your body is doing.
How would you stimulate your vagus nerve?
Eating, maybe? I would say that gets it going because it's something with digestive system. So eat some snacks, get some drinks, and you're okay. It gets the thing going.
I have no idea, but if I was to guess, maybe by what you eat or how you breathe or just something in the middle part of your body.
Have somebody donkey kick me in the back? I don't know. I don't know where this thing is.
I've read some books that say that breathing properly, just like we've been able to breathe throughout ancient history, slowly and diligently will help stimulate your vagus nerve.
I would drop it if I knew where it is. I have no idea where it is, so I'm going to say a good night's sleep, maybe, and maybe eat a mango or something. I'm sorry, Raelan. It's terrible. It's so terrible. Okay.
The vagus nerve, it's the longest nerve in our body. It runs from our brain all throughout our digestive tract. And what it does, it's part of our autonomic nervous system, and it's part of that parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system.
Of course, the amazing Heal with Liz would have the correct answer. So yes, the vagus nerve is a real thing. I know the people watching this channel are pretty savvy, and you probably knew that already, but in case you're still a little bit unclear about what it is, here's what Wikipedia has to say. The vagus nerve, historically cited as the pneumogastric nerve, is the 10th cranial nerve, or CNX, and interfaces with the parasympathetic control of the heart, lungs, and digestive tract. And it actually comprises two nerves, the left and the right vagus nerve, but they are typically collectively referred to in the singular. So essentially, the vagus nerve plays a massive role in our overall health and happiness. We love the vagus nerve, or at least we should, and we should be trying to make it happy all of the time. I'm trying to picture a happy vagus nerve right now. What does that look like? In my head, I picture the two little nerves doing this little dance, waving their arms, there's confetti coming down. They have sunglasses on. So we love, or we should love, the vagus nerve because in addition to triggering our parasympathetic nervous system, so that part of our nervous system that is responsible for long-term health and healing and thriving, it's essentially the opposite of being in fight or flight. According to the Mayo Clinic, stimulating our vagus nerve can also reduce obesity, reduce depression, reduce anxiety, reduce seizures, reduce headaches, and reduce arthritis, among other things. And it also improves our gut health. So if you're currently facing some sort of chronic health challenge like chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, CFS, Long Covid, fibromyalgia, any of these things, the vagus nerve sounds like something that's well worth putting some attention into. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're new to this channel, I invite you to consider subscribing. Lots of great topics like this on this channel every single week about overall health and happiness. So the vagus nerve, it's a real thing. It can help us with our health. So how do we use that to our advantage? It turns out that thankfully, there are some simple things that we can do to stimulate our vagus nerve. And here are 5 easy options that I learned about from YouTube giant Katie Morton. One way to stimulate your vagus nerve is to expose yourself to some cold. So this could be a cold shower, a cold bath. It could be simply splashing some cold water on your face, or if you live someplace cold, it could be going outside into the cold air. Now, a second way to stimulate your vagus nerve is to massage your shoulders and neck up towards your hairline. Just slowly, gently massaging upwards. And even as I'm doing this right now, I'm starting to feel quite relaxed. So I can see how that would be effective. And a third way to stimulate your vagus nerve, or nerves, because they are connected to the back of our throat and vocal cords, is to do things like humming, chanting, singing, chewing gum, even gargling. Think about any time you're ever humming. Just do it right now. Can't you just feel your whole body relaxing and calming down? It's really hard to feel in a stressed out state when you're humming. Now, a fourth way, and I found this one really interesting, to stimulate your vagus nerve is by getting more probiotics into your body. It seems there's a symbiotic relationship between the vagus nerve and our gut health. So stimulating the vagus nerve can improve our gut health, but improving our gut health by getting more probiotics in there can help the functioning of the vagus nerve. And what Katie Morton recommended, which is in line with my own experience, was to get those probiotics from food-based options. Things like kimchi or sauerkraut, which are fermented cabbage, kombucha, which is fermented tea, kefir, which is fermented milk. If you stay away from dairy, there are things like water kefir. It seems like gut health is key to so many aspects of our health. It really feels like we can't go wrong by putting some extra focus there. And the last way I'll share that you can stimulate your vagus nerve, and this one is my favorite because I was already doing it and had no idea it had any benefits in my life at all, is simply to sleep on your right side. I have loved sleeping on my right side for as long as I can remember. In my last apartment, I thought it's because I wanted to sleep towards the edge of the bed and face the window, but then we moved here and now I'm sleeping away from the edge of the bed and away from the window because I still want to be on my right side. So something in me really found some benefit to sleeping on my right side, and perhaps this is why. Pretty doable, right? And isn't it great when you come across some things that can help your physical and mental health that don't cost you any money, that don't take a lot of time or energy to do? So this, to me, is something I'm definitely going to be putting more focus on in my life moving forward. And if you're finding these videos helpful and you want to support the channel for about $2, you can click the super thanks button below the video and you'll get a special icon next to your comment. That is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. This is my first time doing the super thanks one. I'm nervous. And a third way to stimulate your vagus nerve, because the vagus nerve, we love the... And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget... In my head, it's doing this little sort of dance and there's confetti.